Hey guys, what's up? This is Hunter. Today I'm casting a game featuring my favorite player right now. This is LiquidJinro. So proud of this guy. Anyone following the GSL or the Korean scene knows what I'm talking about. LiquidJinro is the foreigner player who has gone further in the GSL than anyone. He is up against, the best Korean pro gamers in the world, and he is just ripping them apart. It is really something to watch. It's crazy. Really been enjoying his play. That's why I'm casting his game today. Hope you guys will enjoy his play as well. I haven't seen this matchup, but it should be a good one. He's up against a really strong opponent. Liquid.Ret is going to be the Zerg player at the 2 o'clock position. Also a member of Team Liquid, of course. Ret, very strong Zerg, very crazy macro style. This guy, I've seen him hit 200 in like 12 minutes. It's really nuts. So yeah, two of the best players in the world here. Going to be facing off on Lost Temple. Jinro sending his SCV to the outskirts here just because if Ret had spawned at this location, he would naturally send his Overlord to this area. So I think it's pretty cool that a lot of Terran players are sort of adding that little SCV scout to scout the Overlord sort of into their opening. Gonna wall in his ramp, always a safe plan as a Terran player. I think he left enough room there for an add-on for when the time comes. Gonna pick up this Zelnaga, switching over to Jinro's vision. He is going to be scouting the correct location right out of the gate here. He's gonna see the 15 hatchery that Ret has chosen for his opener. Doesn't surprise me in the least. Ret, as I mentioned before, is just so macro oriented. Pretty similar playstyle to Hydra, actually. Yeah, a little less passive than Hydra, I suppose. Hydra just goes nuts with the drone production. But both of them love this macro style, and let's see if it's going to work out for Ret here today on Lost Temple. He's going to follow up his 15 hatch with a 15 pool. He's going to deny scouting. Very nice by LiquidJinro. As we see on Ret's vision, he did not get any scouting done in the Terran base. This drone escapes with just 8 hit points, so he's certainly not going to see the tech lab, not going to see the timing of the single gas. No second gas up just yet, so it doesn't actually look like Jinro is going to do what a lot of Terran players do when they spawn in these locations, and I'm referring to drops on the cliff. I'm sort of making this assumption because he's sticking to one gas for so long. Doesn't really point to Banshee play. It doesn't really indicate any early, factory starport to get, medevacs and siege tanks on this high ground, or even Thors. Very common strategy given, LiquidJinro at the 6 and Ret over here very close by air at the 2 o'clock. So gonna probably shape up to be a pretty macro oriented game, as we do see a command center gonna be produced at the high ground here. Ret certainly hasn't spotted that. All Ret knows about at this stage is the tech lab on the barracks. He did see, I'm sure, that the tech lab was producing something, and that is going to be the stim pack. Putting down a spine crawler as natural expansion, always a safe bet, never really a huge mistake. The metabolic boost for Zerglings as well is on the way, a little bit later than it could have been, for sure. So I'm not sure. I don't think LiquidRet's going to go for any early pressure. I'm going to switch the health bars on for now, as we can sort of follow the micro. The Queen does not want to wander off the creep there. That would have been huge if LiquidRet actually lost that Queen, but not getting too over anxious or anything. And now that the spine is up, it doesn't look like these Marines are going to be able to do much, more pressure. Stimpack research is completed. This command center is going to be floating down to the natural. I'm sure it's going to morph into an orbital command, putting a bunker up, because I'm sure Jinro isn't looking to push out anytime soon. He's going to want to fortify his position here on the low ground just a little bit. LiquidRet's Overlord is going to spot this. Love the placement of that Overlord. Sees exactly what's going on at the front door. Bunker and orbital command. Third gas going down for LiquidRet. Putting these both down at the same time, sort of matching up with the lair tech production rate. I'm wondering what he's actually going to use the lair tech for. And look at this, Ret attempting to punish Jinro for going for such a greedy opener, trying to get this early expansion, but there's not a lot he can do with Marines around this side. He could pull just a couple SCVs off to help those 3 Marines and a bunker at the front door. Those Speedlings are forced to turn around and run all the way home in a hurry. Baneling Nest on the way. I'm not sure what other lair tech we're going to see from Liquid.Ret. He hasn't put down anything just yet. Maybe just the Baneling speed. We'll just have to wait and see. Keep an eye on the production tab. More upgrades going down for the infantry. We do have combat shield on the way. Going to be really useful with that stim packs. With the stim pack, it allows, you know, more stimming, certainly for these Marines. The Xel'Naga now in possession of the Terran player. Is he going to bother wasting a scan trying to take out any creep tumors? Doesn't really look like it at this stage. It looks like LiquidJinro is looking to put some pressure on, but you know, a pretty formidable number of Speedlings along with the Queen and Spine Crawler. Gonna really thwart that attack. Sacrificial Overlord in the main base of LiquidJinro, switching to Ret's Vision. Oh, he could have moved that Overlord just a couple paces, or you know, just float a little over, see the factory with the tech lab and this, another barracks, 3rd barracks, starport on the way as well. And look at this, at the 12 o'clock we do have another expansion. So Ret taking a little bit of a gamble at this point, although given the spawning locations, where else are you really supposed to expand to? Very risky to expand to this gold, especially against Terran. Even just a couple siege tanks here, very easy to spot. And yeah, take that out, no problem. So I do like the decision. As a Zerg player, you need to stay ahead in the macro game. You got to keep your base number ahead of the Terran. Burrow being researched, as well as flyer upgrades, because the Spire has completed. Where is that Spire? We have... Am I just blind? Oh, interesting. He used the Overlord to poop creep on the high ground here. And actually, you guys got to take a look at this. This SCV for Jinro was able to spot all the drones manarding to the 12 o'clock. So even though Jinro hasn't officially scouted it, he knows. And that is a huge piece of scouting information for Jinro. That is pretty pivotal. But as I mentioned before, flyer upgrade going to go down, as this Spire is in a location that the Terran player is never going to really scout. Hold that thought. An Overlord just got taken out on the high ground. These Marines not choosing to stim just yet. It looks like they're going to take out this extractor, no problem. Going to be, yeah, going to take out that extractor, and I'm not sure what Ret is going to choose to do here. I mean, the logical step would be to use the Mutalisks, but what number is he going to wait for? He's got 4 Mutas out at the moment, but just a bunch more spawn. He's got 7 now, and with 7 Mutalisks, I'm sure that Ret isn't going to have a problem cleaning this up. Going to elevator these Marines down to the low ground, get as much harassment done as possible. How many drones will they take out? 1, 2 drones before they are lifted off. Going to try to get some shots off on the Mutalisks as well, but they all do get taken out, so that was pretty key. And look at this, another drop. Jinro knowing what's going on up here, and there is not actually a lot to defend here. Ret's units are really all at the main. He's going to get these Mutas back here as fast as possible. This Queen gets taken out. 8 Marines stimming up, and that medevac can heal them, no problem. Actually, there, they stim up there. They didn't stim up a moment ago. But they're going to get a lot of shots off, taking out 1 Mutalisk as well. They're going to get torn apart by the Speedlings, though. You know what? Ret was caught a little bit off guard here. He didn't really see that coming. Looking at the units tab now, 52 SCVs for the Terran player and 63 drones. So despite losing a lot of drones at that 12 o'clock expansion, Ret is still doing okay in his economy. Very little saturation up here at the moment, though. But these Mutalisks are out. He does have a lot of them. He's got 14 Mutas, and he's going to try to do some harassment with them. When Mutas get in these higher numbers, it is easy to snipe a couple missile turrets. Both of those missile turrets going down. Marines stimming up. These Mutalisks need to continue the pressure, though. He needs to do something with them. He's just invested so heavily at this stage in the game. He's put a lot of resources into Mutalisks and continuing to produce more. Soon enough, he is going to have a really critical value for these Mutalisks, and they're going to be very scary to deal with for Jinro. Jinro, on the other hand, I've been changing it up just a little bit. Pretty siege tank heavy here. 6 tanks, 33 Marines. Excellent scan. Going to take out those Baneling landmines. These Mutalisks going to try to snipe what they can, but there's a lot of Marines down there, and these are Marines with their infantry upgrade. The engineering bay now working on infantry upgrade level 1 and armor for these Marines. So those are going to be very scary for Mutalisks to deal with soon enough. That's why I'm thinking Ret should almost be, you know, taking more risks with these Mutalisks, trying to do damage with them now, because even that armor upgrade is really good for reducing the bouncing glaive. And of course, when they've got two infantry damage, I mean, that's just going to be really scary for Mutalisks to deal with. Very high DPS on those Marines, and this looks like it is going to be a big exchange here. Pushing out with a scan as well, as Ret is continuing to add bases. He's going to try to hold this off. A lot of Banelings, though. These Banelings now with the speed upgrade, going to be really scary for these Marines. But those Marines forcing the Banelings to cross that deadly siege line. Those Banelings took a lot of splash damage from the siege tanks. These Mutalisks overhead, a lot of them are in the red as well. Losing a couple Overlords. More Banelings morphing in. Going to be really vulnerable right now, and that was a good time to attack the Banelings before they arrive. A lot of the eggs get taken out, and that's it. Liquid.Ret actually calls GG. So a pretty cool matchup for sure. Zerg versus Terran on Lost Temple. I think Liquid.Ret, big blunder, I would say, letting that drop go down here, leaving no defenses really at this 12 o'clock base. Those Marines did a lot more damage than they could have, and the Mutalisks as well, just investing so heavily in them and really just doing only light harassment. He could have probably taken more risks with them. Nonetheless, a pretty cool game from both of these Team Liquid members. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Look forward to many more casts, and take care, guys. I think that's all for today. Hunter Starcraft here saying, peace out.